Guys, even if you're just a casual whiskey enthusiast, I feel like there's those bottles that everybody needs to have, that every whiskey drinker ought to have on their bar at pretty much all times. So we're gonna go through 5 of those bottles tonight. Roll that intro. Hey guys, welcome back to T-Rod Whiskey, the internet's most okayest whiskey review channel. If you are new here, welcome. Hopefully your day has not been as rough as mine. If you aren't new here, if you're a returning viewer, thank you. I appreciate you. Hopefully the others will observe and take notes. We can only hope, right? So tonight, what we're going to be looking for is 5 bottles that I think you should be keeping on your home bar at all times. Now, obviously not everybody has the setup that I do. Not everyone has amassed the amount of whiskey that I have. They just haven't. It's not for everybody. I'm a little bit of an odd duck that way. But these are 5 bottles and they should be readily attainable pretty much anywhere. 5 readily attainable, relatively affordable bottles that should be a staple on your shelves at all times, regardless of where you're at in your whiskey journey. And if you stick around to the end, obviously you will get to see what my mystery pour is today. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and just jump into bottle number 1, 1792 small batch. This one is 35 bucks, high rye bourbon out of Barton Distillery. It's got a nice caramel, spicy characteristic, that classic spicier bourbon note that you get. Kind of similar to, I would put it along the same veins as like an old granddad, but if you don't like that peanut vibe, which a lot of people tend not to, that's kind of where I would put it. It is hard to go wrong with a 1792 product. I've had very few, if any, single barrels that I haven't loved. And the small batch is pretty much my gateway bourbon. It is what got me into whiskeys to begin with. It's on every grocery store, liquor store shelves. It's plentiful, it's affordable, comes in at a respectable proof of 93.7. I don't know why 93.7, but each one of these releases has a slightly different little symbol, different neck tag, but the small batch is the one that I would recommend for your bar at home. Next bottle from another legacy Kentucky distillery. Wild Turkey 101. Just your regular Wild Turkey 101. Does not have to be the 8-year age statement. This has a lot of beautiful classical bourbon whiskey notes to it that I really, really enjoy, as well as kind of that cherry cordial, almost cherry syrup kind of esque flavor that Wild Turkey has become known for over the last 30 to 50 years. I mean, for God's sakes, guys, they've had the same master distiller for 70 years. So clearly they are doing something right. They know how to make a good whiskey, a respectable whiskey, which is important. They haven't sold out or sold their values out, and they're starting to bring back some of those older age statements that have been so elusive the last few years in the whiskey scene. You can walk into pretty much any bar, store, gas station, and you can bet your bottom dollar they will have a Wild Turkey 101 on the shelf. It is all over the place. It is extremely plentiful. It is delicious. I don't know a single whiskey guy that would turn down a pour of this. Is it going to be everybody's first choice, everybody's favorite bottle? Probably not. But with the level of access and availability that people have to this, it's not really designed to be something that's going to change your life. It's designed to be delicious, plentiful, and, you know, not super aggressive on your wallet. So get one of these. The rye on the list from Jack Daniel's. This is the Jack Daniel's Bonded Rye. The single barrels are great. They are. Love the Jack Daniel's single barrel ryes. But a lot of times the proof is pretty high on those. They're still kind of pricey in some markets, and there's some places, even still, where it is difficult to find them. This, however, is a nice, reasonable 100 proof bottled and bond rye. Less than $30. I think it's $27.99 here in Michigan. It is an amazing, sweet, minty rye that will give you any type of rye desire that you need while still fulfilling that sweeter characteristic that keeps it in the same direction, let's say, as a bourbon. It's very approachable, very tasty, great looking bottle, amazing packaging, love the cork. Jack Daniel's can seemingly the last couple of years, they can do no wrong, guys. They are kind of one of the darlings in the whiskey industry right now. Their limited releases are sought after. Their regular shelf products are constantly being drank. They're doing everything right. and this is one of them. Get yourself some bonded rye from Jack Daniel's. You will not be sorry. Okay. Would not be a whiskey list if there wasn't at least one Buffalo Trace product. And I thought really hard about putting Eagle Rare on this list, but Eagle Rare is incredibly difficult for me to find. So Buffalo Trace. This one is a single barrel, but just any Buffalo Trace bourbon. The regular shelf bottles, I think they're up to like $30 now, $29.99 I think is MSRP. Really good classic butterscotch, oaky, toasted wood notes, not overly complex, not going to shatter your world, change the way you look at things, make you, hear colors and see sounds. It's not going to be that kind of experience. But what it will do is, make you enjoy drinking bourbon, and you'll go back for another more than likely. If I'm at a bar and they ask me what well whiskey I want, it's almost always going to be Buffalo Trace. It holds up well in cocktails. It tastes good neat. It tastes good on the rocks. It's a really, really good whiskey. They get a lot of hate because they suffer from the favorite child syndrome, or whatever you want to call it. Everybody wants Buffalo Trace. And unfortunately, there's still a lot of places where people have difficulty finding these. Unfortunately, or well, fortunately for me, Michigan is not one of them. I can walk into a lot of stores and find Buffalo Trace just sitting on the shelf. It's really good. And I'm not going to apologize for putting it on this list. Okay, lastly, and for me, I think this is the only controversial pick on this list. And if you guys have a problem with it, I am sure that you will let me know in the comments down below. You never seem to be shy about sharing your opinion, and it's one of the things I love about my viewers. You guys are rearing and ready to rip me a new one anytime you think I'm screwing off. So that said, the number 5 spot, the only weeder on this list, Penelope Weeded. A newer release, and actually probably the newest release on this list, the Penelope Weeded gives a lot of the Weller lineup, not a real true run for its money, but it gives you a value look at what good weeded bourbon should be. It's got a sweeter, more approachable profile, notes of honey and a little bit of hay, while still giving you that Werther's Original kind of caramely sweetness with notes of oak and some red fruits. That's what this bottle does, and it does it for less than $40, $39.99 here in the state of Michigan, and it's all over the place. This was hard to find for about 15 seconds, and now it is everywhere. It sits on everyone's shelves. This is 95 proof, so higher proof than Weller Special Reserve. It's not going to compete with the Weller Red Label. I'm not going to sit here and tell you it does, but it blows the doors off the Weller Green Label. And as far as a weeded bourbon goes, this is just a really good example of what that should be and what it should taste like. Now, I understand that it has a 4-grain mash bill, so maybe it's going to differ a little bit from some of your traditional Kentucky weeders. And, well, that's fine, but I think this is really good. I think you should have a bottle of it around, if not for yourself, then for your guests. If you haven't tried this yet, this is your reminder to go out and get a bottle of it. Give it a shot, see what it's about. I think you're going to like it. All right, guys, if you've made it this far in the video, congratulations. My droning hasn't driven you out the window yet. So we're going to go ahead and show you what the mystery pour is. Taconic Double Barrel Maple Bourbon. So this is a 90 proof straight bourbon whiskey barreled with New York maple syrup out of the Taconic distillery. This stuff is tasty. It is a quintessential maple finished bourbon in that it doesn't wash out the bourbon with maple syrup. It accentuates the sweeter flavors and gives you notes of maple syrup, maple candies, pancake batter and syrup. Like, these are the things. And just, if you can see in this glass just how well this beads up, it is super viscous for 90 proof. It is really, really good. You can just smell the maple coming off of this, but it doesn't overpower the base bourbon, okay? It does a really, really good job of walking that line between the two. So if you are in a state where Taconic is distributed to, or you're lucky enough to live within a reasonable driving distance, they're about 4 hours away from me. But if you're within a reasonable driving distance of Taconic, I recommend you stop by the distillery and the tasting room. They have a lot of really, really good expressions that unfortunately I don't have access to, but I've been very, very lucky and very blessed to get a few sample bottles sent out to me, and I really appreciate it, guys. Cheers. Give this one a go. Pretty much anything they're putting out is going to be amazing, but that's just my 2 cents. But if you've made it this far in the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you also smash that like button. Drop me a comment down below. Let me know what you think, how I'm doing. You know, I want to hear opinions. But until the next time, guys, I hope everybody has a very safe and happy Halloween, and we'll see you in the next video. Cheers.